at that, beautifully cooked underneath. That is sensational. Come on, we need to cut into there. Oh, lovely, crunchy, crunchy top. Now let's get a look at that filling. That is absolutely sensational. It's packed. What a beautiful, beautiful filling. Look at that. Hi everyone, welcome to Backyard Chef. I'm Rick. Today, an easy hand pie or pasty recipe. It's simple. We're using ready-made puff pastry, and I'm going to call this something like the best British beef pasty hand pie. It's very British ingredients going in here. We're going to make a really nice, thick, tasty minced beef filling with the classic additions of tomato paste, thyme, onion, garlic, some shredded carrot, gravy granules or whatever, or stock, whatever you want to use. It's straightforward, it's easy. Here's a pan. In the pan, a little bit of olive oil, and we're going to chuck in some butter, and we're going to get a flame on. So let's get some butter in there, about that much. Get a flame on. Start off your onions, your garlic, your shredded cabbage, shredded carrot, and then we chuck in the mince. Easy, come on. Quick cooking. We need to cook this off. It has to cool down completely before we put it in our puff pastry and then whack it in the oven. In there, onions. Little saute on those in there. Or a little stir fry, whatever you know it by. Now you can put rosemary in here. In fact, you can put any herb in you like, actually. It doesn't really matter. I'm sticking to more the traditional. We're using dried thyme. So this is a super large onion. Very big actually, this one. So I'm just going to put in the menu large onion. You use whatever you want. So we're starting this off first, just to cook out a little bit of this rawness before we put the garlic and the carrot in. Clear yourself a space in there with your garlic. Just cook out that little bit of rawness of that garlic in there. Oven today will be 200 degrees, as per usual. Ingredients in the description. Give that a little stir in. In there, shredded carrot. I've just grated it up on a grater. Stir it in. In there with that dried thyme. It can bloom in there with the oils, and then it's going to flavour up the meat. Give it a stir around. You know, you need to get the best from your herbs. You can put it in when you've got all your stock and everything in there, and you've got lots of fluid, but you're just going to boil it in there. This way, the little bit of oils that are in it when it's been dried out are coming out into there, and then it's going to go in the fluid. Everybody cooks their own way. Do it your own way. Okay, we're in there with our minced beef. Now this is nearly defrosted completely. Nearly. Oh, it's still a bit firm in the middle there, look. Give it a breaking up. Start to cook it off. Season to taste, salt and pepper. Now we're going to extract all that fats out of that beef if we can in there. We're going to put flour in here to soak up that goodness. And then we're going to add our beef stock, and it's going to make a really nice thick gravy. We want a thick, moist interior inside our pasty. We don't want it runny, it'll all run out. We don't want it dry, as we can just put dry mince in. In there, a couple of tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. And for those who bleat on about Henderson's, put Hendo's in if you want. I don't think it has the flavour, even though it's from the same part of the world that I'm from. I think it's weak in flavour. In there, a couple of tablespoons of tomato paste or tomato puree. Whatever you know it by, stir it in, cook out the rawness of that. And yes, I'm going to add some brown sugar, which is completely optional. You don't have to, but you know that is as sour as heck. I've got that much brown sugar, look, tiny bit there. And we're going to go in there with the best tomato condiment in the world for cooking. Ketchup. Want about a tablespoon. Stir it in. Oh yeah. In there, some flour. Little stir on, cook out the rawness of the flour. Now, depending on what sort of beef stock or beef broth you're using, if you're using a cube and you've mixed it up with a lot of water, you can put a heaped teaspoon of flour in, or just put 2 teaspoons of flour in, but make sure you cook the rawness out, as you can taste flour. Now, the beef broth or beef stock that I'm using is made from powder. It's a bit thicker, so I didn't put much flour in. It's common sense. We don't want a big gloopy mess. And now we're going to bring all this in, we're going to turn down the heat, and we're going to simmer for about 10 minutes, 8 to 10 minutes. This is going to thicken up and be very, very moist. All the flavours are going to come together. Obviously, while you're simmering away, you need to keep giving it a stir so it doesn't burn. We want a thick mince filling. Quick and easy, this one, isn't it? Really quick and easy. Do you know, these pasties can be frozen, can be reheated. Reheated about 180 in an air fryer to 5 minutes. Make a few, freeze them. Serve them with chips and beans, whatever. Delicious. Okay, when you've had about 10 minutes, you're going to get this nice, thick mix like this. Now, if you're using the stock cubes or anything like that, it could take a little bit longer. Don't worry about that. That's just how it goes. You want a thick mix like this, which is very moist. We need to have a nice filling. We don't want to be eating dry mince. Right, you got to let that cool down completely, and then we can carry on with the pastry. Okay, straightforward one. The meat has cooled down. Cut your pastry to about 4.5 inches by 5 inches. Mine's slightly uneven there, as you can see. Not to worry. And what we're going to do is put our filling in there. Come on. It's as easy as that. Now, I like to pack mine, so we're just going to put a bit in every one first and then just work round them again. And if there's any of this meat mixture left, we'll put it in a bag for next time. Put it in the freezer. So it's basically dump some cut pastry over the top of there. Like that. Give it a little squidge. We're going to go around with a fork in a minute and give it a little pressing down. I have a little bit of filling left here which will go in a bag and in the freezer. I'm not going to make any more pasties. That's enough. Okay, we just need to squash it down with a fork. Just give it a little squidging down like that. Pretty it up a little bit. Now, if it sticks, you can stick this in some flour and then carry on. Stick it in flour, carry on. Up to you. Right, we need to put a couple of slits in there like that. We are cooking the meat filling again and it needs to vent. And we can do a little cheeky one. We can put over some egg wash. You don't have to, it's puff pastry, it's going to be okay. But if you want to put a little bit of a golden crust on there, nice and steady over there. Now you could do this with a milk wash as well, or milk and water, not a problem, you don't have to use an egg. But we're going for a bit of a goldenness today. Okay, there's our beautiful, beautiful hand pies, pasties. Stick it in the oven, 20-25 minutes. Let's have those out of there. Oh yes, please. Look at those. Oh yes, please. Look at those things. You can see the bubbling goodness of the juice there, look. If I press that there, look. You can see perfect pasties. So what we're going to do is we're going to let those cool a little minute on there, and then we're going to put them on the rack to cool down. Now you can eat these hot, not a problem. Eat whatever, but I'm going to let it cool down so I can cut into it and eat it. They look absolutely spectacular. The best ever British minced beef pie or pasty, hand pie, whatever you know it by. There you go. Come on, pick any one. Look at that, beautifully cooked underneath. That is sensational. Come on, we need to cut into there. Still a bit warm. We haven't let them cool down. You know me. In here. Oh, lovely, crunchy, crunchy top. Through there. Now let's get a look at that filling. Oh, that's what we're talking. Look at that. That is absolutely sensational. It's packed. What a beautiful, beautiful filling. Look at that. There you go. The best ever British style minced beef pasty or hand pie. That is truly off the charts. All we got to do now is have a good nibble. Oh, this thing is going to be absolutely red hot inside there, but I've got some dribbly paper. I'm already dribbling. Now, do you eat your pasty or hand pie with knife and fork? Or do you pick it up and shove it in your gob? That is red hot. Look at how juicy that is in there. Look at that. That is a real hand pie pasty. No dry rubbish in there. Whew, it's a bit warm. That is off the charts. Absolutely beautiful. Fantastic full flavoured mince inside there. That is delicious. That is absolutely red hot. Grab some HP. Up to you, you don't have to use HP. HP, Houses of Parliament sauce. Brown sauce, no longer made in the UK, it's made in Holland. In here, I have to use a knife and fork because I can't pull it apart, it's that hot. Look at that. Look at the steam coming out of there. Look how moist that is. Perfect, perfect filling. So easy to do. There is absolutely no point in buying from a well-known chain. Serve it with chips, beans, veg, nice gravy, anything like that. There you go. That is a perfect, perfect pasty. So another look in here before I demolish it. Look at that. It's steaming, it's red hot. That is the best ever British style minced beef pasty or hand pie. Look at that. In we go. Ho-ho. There you go. If you like what we're doing, share with your friends. Tell them how easy it is to make a beef hand pie like this or a beef pasty. So easy, so quick, and then you've got more meals or takeaway, whatever. Just do it. Worth doing. And if you do like what we're doing, big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, ring that bell, and we'll catch you in the next video. Oh yeah.